Hey guys, it's Ms. Michele, and I know I promised you a science project, so let's do it. I have today a science project, and we've worked with some of these materials before. We've got some baking soda, and I have had some at school that we've used before for science projects. I'm going to see if you guys remember any of them after you see what this does. And I have some white vinegar. And I'm doing this outside because it can get a little bit messy. The other thing that I have that's going to help with this experiment is a funnel. We need a water bottle and a balloon. Now I've already started with this balloon because it takes a little bit of time to put the baking soda in it, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So moms and dads, blow up the balloon a few times to stretch it out. Kind of blow it up and let the air out, and it's fun to make funny noises with it. I did some and it kind of scared my dogs. But what you want to do is you want to put the balloon onto the funnel, and then you're just going to pour some baking soda into that funnel, and I'm going to put it over here. And then you might need to stretch the balloon down to help it get to the bottom. And you can see I already have some in there. And I also very carefully used part of a stick to kind of push it down because it gets stuck in the neck of the balloon and the neck of the funnel. So to put that in there helps, and you can swirl it around, that helps. So, but you don't want to puncture the balloon or it might not work. So I'm going to move that over there. Now the next part of the experiment, I'm going to take this funnel off. The next part of the experiment, you will need your empty water bottle. And any kind of empty water bottle will do. Just rinse it out, make sure it's clean before you use it. This actually still has some water in it from when I washed it out. We're going to use our funnel. I'm going to kind of wipe some of the baking soda out. It's okay to use the same funnel. Just make sure all of the baking soda is out. We're going to put it right on the top, and this is the part that you can help with. This is a great thing for you to help with. I've already poured some of the vinegar into my measuring cup. I've got about a cup of vinegar here that I'm going to use. And so you just want to pour that right into your water bottle like that. And you know what? I've got plenty of white vinegar here. I'm going to pour a little bit more. Let's see if we can get a really big reaction. So what kind of science, do you think that we're going to use today? It is called chemistry, because chemistry is when you use two different elements. And so one of our elements is the white vinegar, and the other one is the baking soda that we use. So these are two of the elements that we're going to use in our chemistry experiment. So I have the vinegar in there, and you might have noticed, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but there's some bubbles in there, probably because there was a little bit of baking soda that kind of got in there from our funnel. But that's okay. It's not doing anything else. Now is the fun part. Now is the part where it might get really messy. So I'm going to try to move out of the way as quick as I can so I don't get messy. But you want to put the balloon right on the top of the bottle, so it's covering up the opening. And then you're going to hold the balloon up, and I'm just holding it, and the bottle's making bubbles, and the baking soda is coming down, down, down into the bottle. And the reaction between the baking soda and the vinegar is what blew up the balloon. See, it's much bigger than it was when it was empty. And so baking soda and vinegar react to make bubbles. So it's really cool to do this experiment. Sometimes when I've done this experiment, I have had the baking soda that was in the balloon and the vinegar really react together, and it's made quite a big mess. That's why I was worried about a mess. One time when I did it, it actually kind of blew up off of the bottom. There's still a little baking soda in here even. So next we're going to do another one without the balloon, but with the baking soda and the vinegar. So hang on tight, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I tried it out just to see if it would work, and it did. Let me show you what I did. So again, I'm just using baking soda, vinegar, but this time I wanted to add a little something special. So we're not using balloons this time. Let me show you what we can do. I'm going to move these two out of the way that I've already done. And what I'm going to do first is I am going to pour some vinegar right into my clear container here. Okay, put some vinegar in there. And then I have some dish soap. So this is going to make it kind of fun. I don't think the dish soap is going to do a whole lot as far as reacting with the other chemicals, but I bet it will make some bubbles. So let's see. I'm going to put a little bit in there. Is there anything happening yet? No bubbles. No bubbles yet. I'm thinking I did put a little bit of green food coloring in this one that I did, and I put a tiny bit of red, which made that one look pink. I think this time I will try yellow. So I've got my yellow food coloring, and again, you don't need food coloring for this. It just makes it extra fun, and you really don't have to have dish soap, but it makes it extra fun. So I'm going to put in a couple of drops of my yellow food coloring, and I'm doing this outside in case it gets extra messy, but it's still not doing anything. But I'm going to stir it up, and I just happen to have this little stick out here. So, but you can use a regular spoon. I'm going to stir it up. So what do you see happening so far? I just see the water. Well, it looks like water, but it's not. It's vinegar. I just see the vinegar, which looks like water because it's clear, turn yellow. And I see just a couple little bitty bubbles in there maybe so far. So now comes the fun part. Because I used all my other baking soda, I had to get my big box of baking soda out. And I'm just going to use my fingers. And you can do it like this too. You can use your fingers to just sprinkle some baking soda on the top. And it's growing. And it's growing. Don't really need a lot of baking soda. Oh my goodness! It's reacting, and look, it's causing the vinegar and the baking soda to react together, and that's causing the dish soap in here to make it look really kind of foamy and a little bubbly, and it's yellow because I put yellow food coloring in it. It's lots of fun to do experiments like this, and I love that it's coming out of the bowl. I wonder what would happen if I put a little bit more baking soda in the pink one. Let's try that and see if it does any more reacting. Stir it up a little bit. Maybe a tiny bit more of the vinegar, which I have in this bottle. I'm gonna It may have fizzled out as much as it's going to fizzle. No, it seems to be growing. Seems to be growing. And so let's try the green one. It all depends on how much baking soda and how much vinegar you put in it. And usually you can't get a lot out of it if you do it with the same thing in the same bowl over and over again. But you never know unless you try, right? So I'm gonna mix it up. Let's see what happens. Oh, our pink is going here. It's getting kind of frothy, bubbly. Oh, here goes our green reacting. And it's just so cool to watch. It's just so cool to watch these kind of bubble up. See, this is what happens when you first do it. And when you try to do it over and over again, it just kind of fizzles out a little bit. But it's fun to try to do it over and over again. And if you have a couple of them going at the same time and they kind of mix colors together, you can see what colors it might make. Like this yellow and pink together. Kind of mix that up a little bit and see what color you get. It's kind of an orange like that, or a little bit of the green and yellow. You see what that makes, kind of a blue color. So it's just fun to experiment with lots of stuff, and it's fun to make a lot of big messes too, as long as mom and dad say it's okay, and as long as you're being safe and you're doing these experiments with a grown-up. So that's what I have for you today in science, the balloon science experiment, where the baking soda and the vinegar reacted together to kind of make a gas, really, an air that filled up the balloon. And then just a fun reaction again to see it bubble up with the dish soap and the baking soda and the vinegar and use colors. So I hope you have fun trying this at home, and I will come up with some more science experiments that I can do for you and show you how to do, so maybe you'll do them at home. Until then, have fun and be safe.